Trust them, trust me.
A little after the fact, he was living in Los Angeles, and which is where I'm originally from, and we happened to be in town to visit. And he said, "Oh, you have to, come over to the house. We'll have dinner, and we'll just hang out and talk and have a good time." And we did. They had this beautiful little bungalow in Southern California. My wife and I went over there, and Andrea was there, and they had food, and it was just a beautiful afternoon and evening, and we just passed the time and talked. And he took such joy in that conversation, and so did we, because we couldn't help it. It was who he is, and it's those moments of that I treasure, about the time I was able to spend with him and with Andrea, and just talk about not just the music but different things. And we talked about the show that he was working with at the time at LA, which was Postino. He was so excited about that and how the production was going. Also chatted a little bit about his next project, which Meet John Doe. And I said, "Oh, Daniel, you have to play some of the music for me." He goes, "Oh, well." He was a little sort of shy about it. I think it was still sort of, he had snippets and ideas, but it was still sort of forming and coming together in his head. So understandably, I think he was a little reluctant about it, but he was not afraid of sharing those moments. It wasn't that like the curtain came down or the veil came down and he was very closed off about that. It was part of who he was. It was part of his life, and he couldn't help but be excited about that and wanting to share it. Not ready to share it, but wanting to share it. The one that comes to mind is, I think, Postino. I think partly because of getting some insights from him directly as when he was putting it together and it was in rehearsal, but also when we did it here at UH. Obviously, it's sort of a bittersweet moment, because that was really the last time that that I was able to see him, which is a story in and of itself. But the wonderful thing that yet another thread of interconnection that we had was that my student at the time, a young tenor, Galiano Salas, got cast as the lead, as the Mario in that. And as a teacher, to have that connection through my student with Daniel's music, as well as my own direct connection, was something that I had not anticipated being so special. Because, I don't know, I guess in my head I thought that nothing could really be on the same level as that sort of artist-composer connection that we had and have with Florencia. But to have a slightly more indirect connection through my student is really just as wonderful and just as special, because what was great to see is that he was just as warm and caring with these students, these young singers, who were singing his music, as he was with us, professionals. He was just as excited. He was just as warm and just as loving and just as nurturing, probably even more so with these young singers than he was with us, as much as he was with us, even more so with them. And they just adored him. They just absolutely adored him.
Trust them, trust me.